a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Full AccuWeather forecast right across the top of this and all CNC local news pages. Good day to keep track of it. Rochester area residents who live south of the 490 Expressway saw little, if any, snow from Tuesday night to Wednesday morning. North of that line, your morning probably looked more like this. This is in Greece, which got 2 or 3 inches of snow and came under the lake effect snow band during the rush hour. Here's the Arundecoid Bay Bridge a short time later. The snow was heaviest on the east side and continues to be. The National Weather Service says Webster to Clyde in Wayne County was getting an inch per hour in some spots early Wednesday along the Route 104 corridor. On and off lake snow showers can be expected from Hamlin Beach east to Arundecoid. And with temperatures in the single digits in the morning, snow, of course, doesn't melt with road salt, so the morning commute very slippery. Governor Andrew Cuomo rolled out a $136.5 billion state budget on Tuesday, vowing to build on 2 years of more responsible budgeting, of cutting mandates that force local governments to raise property taxes, and not raising state taxes or fees.
No new taxes in this budget again. That is what is working for us. It has symbolized a new day in New York.
At the same time, the governor said he could invest more in economic development and education reform by investing smarter. He also laid out a combined state and local government approach to rebuilding the areas of New York smashed by Hurricane Sandy, a top-down effort for the heavy infrastructure like the highways, and a bottom-up process for rebuilding local communities and housing driven by their own priorities. And the governor said he needs to close a $1.3 billion budget gap.
I'm sorry, they had the decimal point in the wrong place. It's $1.3 billion. I wanted to see if you were paying attention.
So $1.3 billion. To do that, Cuomo said the state needs to hold the growth of spending to less than 2%, starting by holding state expenses flat. You can see the governor's full budget presentation elsewhere on this page. Be advised it is more than an hour long. To help local governments that are being forced into untenable budgets by mandates, Governor Cuomo again called for reform of state workers' comp laws, continuing the cap on Medicaid, and some other measures to reduce those mandates.
We want to change the law to say if a government is under fiscal distress, and we'll have a formula to define fiscal distress for a municipality, but if a government is under fiscal distress, ability to pay is limited to a 2% increase for that contract, all in, and the 2% will then link up with their property tax cap at 2%.
And the governor called for a financing plan to help local governments carry their ballooning pension costs until the lower benefits of the new Tier 6 pension plan kick in. The governor said that would save the city of Rochester $21 million this year. Republicans heard a lot they liked in the governor's message, particularly his focus on upstate economic development and the no new taxes pledge. That's what caught Greece State Senator Joe Robach's ear.
No new taxes, no new fees, that we're going to stay on that course of spending what we can afford to, and I think that will be great relief to the taxpayers that I represent.
As for local officials, Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks says the Cuomo budget has a lot that will support Monroe County's efforts to create jobs, including a unified upstate marketing campaign, but she says the governor doesn't go far enough on the mandate relief. In the city, Rochester Mayor Tom Richards was pleased to hear the governor talk about structural budget shortfalls facing local governments, and he likes the proposal to help face the high state pension costs. Richards says Rochester's entire property tax levy now goes to just 2 things: city schools and the state pension system payments, and both of those are state mandates. A lot of other news, so let's get through it. The search for a missing Webster man did not end well. West Webster firefighters found a body of a man in an empty drainage ditch on Ashbrook Circle in Penfield late Tuesday afternoon, and police believe it is the body of 80-year-old Marco Montante, who wandered away from his home in Webster about 24 hours earlier. Mr. Montante suffered from Alzheimer's disease and was known to walk several miles before being found and returned home. Webster police are waiting for a positive ID from the medical examiner's office. A Rochester mother will spend 7 to 15 in state prison after pleading guilty in connection with the deaths of 4 of her children. 31-year-old Bobby Kugler pled guilty to 4 counts of manslaughter, 3 counts of assault, and 1 count of arson. She was sentenced Tuesday in Monroe County Court by Judge Douglas Randall. Kugler, who wept through the hearing, admitted to being drunk when she set fire to a picture of her ex and tossed the burning photo onto a dresser after using it to light some incense. That started a fire. The flames spread through her Grape Street home so fast that 4 of her children were unable to escape. The Rochester man who kidnapped a woman from an Arundecoit church office has been sentenced to 15 years in prison, 5 years of post-release supervision. Anthony Cannella of Rochester admitted to abducting the woman at knife point from her office in the church on East Ridge Road August 30. He forced her to drive to several ATMs and took money out of her account. Then he dropped her off on Lyle Avenue in the city. And a man who tried to flee in a car while being questioned by Greece police Tuesday ended up in the hospital after crashing the car into a truck at the corner of Fetzner Road and New Prince Drive. Police say they were called to the Kingsbury Apartments off Fetzner for a report of a stolen car. When they tried to question a man at the scene about the incident, he jumped into a car and sped off, hit a police cruiser in the process. Although police say they weren't pursuing, the suspect vehicle ran a stop sign at Fetzner and crashed into a flatbed tow truck. When police came on the scene, they found the truck had been shoved into another car by the impact and then went on to crash into a house. The man they wanted to question had a broken arm and facial injuries from the crash. The truck driver wasn't seriously hurt, and police say that's all they can release at this time. To the left of the player window, links to these and other stories. At the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news and information directly to us. So the next news is as it happens, updates are when necessary, and you can help us be the judge of that by what you send to us. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.